Hello, your phone. This can go literally anywhere with you. We are becoming increasingly mobile. I'm sure if you have one of these things, you can't, leave the home without it. You can't go on trips without it because this is your GPS, your way to connect. This provides a sense of security. As you know, you'll be able to contact who you need to contact with it. I know for me personally, I get lost very easy, and I feel a lot more comfortable when I have my phone on me, and I know that I can navigate my way if I ever get lost. Social media. Social media is something we've now been given with the internet, and now social media is becoming more mobile as we can access it on our mobile phones. Social media, I am taking a look specifically at social media's impact on young adults' romantic relationships. Now, the things that stuck out the most to me is that there are a lot of benefits to this. People are becoming bolder. Face-to-face interaction and face-to-face rejection is scary, and often it's a little easier to explore new relationships and to reach out and talk to somebody you might not talk to in person because there's not the fear of face-to-face interaction. Another benefit of social media that I've seen is that with long-distance couples in particular, benefit truly from face-to-face video and real-time communication through FaceTime or Skype, instant messaging, picture communication through social media. Those are things that long-distance couples in particular have really benefited from as they work to increase the intimacy in their relationship without actually them both being physically present in the same time, because some couples don't have the luxury of being geographically close to one another. Intimacy can be hard to define. There's a theory of intimacy, and it says that in between the two parties, there's the self-disclosure party, and then there's the perceived partner interaction, and the perception of the partner's reception to that from the person that self-discloses determines the level of intimacy that has increased in their relationship. So through synchronous media communication, through all of these wonderful things that social media has given us, couples can now be long distance for a period in their relationship and have that be less of a detriment to their relationship than it has been in the past. One particular negative impact of social media that I found rather interesting is this new neologism, which means a new phrase called phubbing. And I honestly thought that sounded like a fake word, but when I found out what it meant, I realized we have all experienced this ourselves, or honestly, we're probably all guilty of it. So, when you're in a conversation with someone and you or the other person picks up their phone and starts checking Instagram or checking text message notifications, there's actually a new term for that, and it's called phubbing. There's different theories behind this, but one thing I found was that there's often different situations where phubbing is more likely to take place. If you're just having a conversation with an acquaintance, a coworker, a classmate, somebody that you're not super close to and don't have a high relationship reliance on, phubbing is more likely to take place, whether it be something small, like a small notification, or actually an emergency might happen. Whereas if you're talking to, say, your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, phubbing is less likely to take place because you place more value on being present in that relationship in that time. That was something I found interesting, as I think that's something that we've all experienced now. This provides a sense of security, but also when you're in discussion with someone, often it makes it difficult for them to think that you're hearing them, and that can be a detriment to your in-person communication. Phubbing can be detrimental to your face-to-face communication with people, but also it could be a benefit because in the cases of an emergency, you have access to your phone and you can be made aware of emergencies almost in real time. But this is something that, we all should be aware of, and that stuck out to me is this increase in digital dating abuse and electronic intrusion that I found in my research. More and more, as social media and communication is becoming more mobile, and you can stick this in your pocket, more and more the expectation, digital boundaries of relationships are changing, and they will always be changing as new technologies. Attachment theory is the attachment styles of adults that psychologists and theorists believe developed from infant care. In particular, in the research that I did, they focused on two types of romantic attachment styles. One is anxiety attachment and avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment is when someone pulls away from their significant other for fear of being vulnerable and being known by someone. And the anxiety attachment is somebody who is quick to fall in love, quick to be connected with someone, but who fears that their significant other, that their boyfriend, their girlfriend, doesn't feel the same way. And electronic intrusion and digital dating abuse typically manifests with people who have anxiety attachment. The cycle of anxiety can start with a social media post from your significant other. Then it moves to having anxiety about your partner, about how they feel. That can move then to electronic intrusion, which can then further provide more social media triggers for that person. So if you have a tendency towards anxiety attachment in your relationships, that's okay. Start to have conversations about that and be aware of your own tendencies towards those areas. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on social media and the effects that it has on young adults' relationships.